go, I release, and I know I forgive, I receive, I can feel, I believe, I am healed, I am whole, I release, I know. No need to push, no need to try, no need to worry or question why. Surrender, let go, release, and know. I breathe in, I breathe in, I breathe out, I breathe out, I take in, I take in, I give out, I give out, I let love, I let go, I release, I know. Breathe,
Welcome to the Brahma Kumaris, where a new world is opened up for you. From humble beginnings in India in 1936 to a global organization with over 8,000 centers in 110 countries and 1 million students worldwide. Through their tireless commitment, passionate heart, and determined spirit, the Brahma Kumaris arrived in America in 1974 and have since grown to 35 main centers throughout America. There are also 2 residential retreat centers, Peace Village, located in upstate New York, and Anubhuti, located in Novato, California.
I want to just share a little bit about how the centers of Raj Yoga meditation began in United States. Actually, I was in Caribbean islands and I got invitation from New York that we want to start something about meditation. And it was in 1978 I came here and we rented a very small apartment in Astoria. And from there I found that a lot of people have interest. I realized that there is so much need, and from there onwards then centers started in many other states.
Our centers are safe spaces where you can explore the power of your inner world.
The classes are conducted in many, many homes, many cities all over across the United States. A lot of people, they learn meditation, they use it, that meditation at their workplace, in their family, and also I find that children, young adults, because they are so much into like what really is the life about.
The Brahma Kumaris are dedicated to personal and global transformation through the study and spiritual practice of Raj Yoga meditation. And at the heart of our teaching is the belief that the pathway to peace and happiness is to remember our original nature as spiritual beings connected to the One Source. In 1981, the organization received recognition as an international non-governmental organization affiliated with the United Nations and accredited with general consultative status with the Economic and Social Council. From organizing large-scale global initiatives to local community programs, the Brahma Kumaris has a tradition of service in every field that fosters spiritual growth among individuals from all backgrounds, cultures, and walks of life.
I hold on to this vision, the world of love, world of peace and harmony, world which is free from conflict and sorrow, where we can live as brothers, one family, children of common parents, one supreme divine power.
This is your invitation to awaken and join us in creating a world of love, peace, and kindness. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Welcome to the next normal. I'm your host, Sister Jenna, and again, I know we see that opening of the Brahma Kumaris and sometimes of the Meditation Museum just about every time we get on air, and I'll have to tell you, I think it's so important that we keep serving the energy of the meditation museums and also just the work that we've been doing over all of these years. The pandemic has changed so many things for us in terms of the way that we've often done things, and now we're focusing more on things internally to work things out. Many of us are on Zoom messages or programs or web, what they call them, web conferencing. If it's not with Zoom, it's another one. It's this or that, or Google Meets or FaceTime or Google Meeting. And it can sometimes affect your mood because everything is so different. And most of us are spending a lot of time in our own company or with the same people for months without really any much distraction, for the exception of being on Zoom calls or on, camera, whatever it might be. And I don't know about you if you're a moody person, but if you've lived with a moody person or if you know a moody person, but sometimes it can be tricky to try to understand what is the need of a moody person, but also what's your need when you wake up a particular morning and you don't feel like Mary Poppins, you don't feel like dancing and clapping your feet all day long. And one has to check as well if that happens regularly, that your morning rise tends to be one that has you in sort of a funk, and your mood is just off. And nothing anyone says or does can shift your energy into gear and make you feel a little bit more on top of the world. But I wonder, during the pandemic, how many of you have felt you've gotten a little bit more moodier than you normally were before the pandemic? I don't know. Hands up. Send me a comment on YouTube if you're on YouTube. I've gotten off of Facebook, so I have no idea if anyone's going to say anything on Facebook, but Antonia can send me messages. Today, it wasn't because I was in any bad mood or good mood, but I've been wanting to do it for a long time, and after International Day for Peace and just thinking about things and looking at where I want my energy to be directed now more than ever. This morning I wrote a note to the Facebook folks on my particular handle, which was Sister Dr. Jenna, and I just told them that I'm going to be stepping down a little bit from that, but the crew will keep posting the next normal, wise-ish stuff on America Meditating Radio or anything else that is pertinent to the organization, but not to me personally. So I'm just letting everybody know I won't be able to answer your messages on Facebook anymore. I'm so sorry. But definitely on Meditation Museum you can respond, or on America Meditating, of course. So how many of you have been waking up a little bit out of your sorts, like kind of moody? Just now before coming down, I passed by Sister Gita's room, and she was laying down and had the most sweetest smile on her face, like she was just laying in God's remembrance, and she was just like this. And I paused and I looked at her for a while, and I said to myself, I wonder what she's thinking. Can I tell you, if I'm honest with you, I don't recall feeling that whenever I see her in the morning, like she's in an off mood. I mean, I do see her regularly where she's somewhere else, and the same narrative about her body and things that she's going through. But I've not seen her in an off mood. I don't see her wake up in the morning and like she's miserable or she's nagging, or sometimes we'll say, well, she's in a place today where she will take out her dolls and she wants to play with them, or she wants to do something in her bathroom and stay in there for like an hour, and we have to go in there to check to make sure she's okay. But an off mood where sometimes the person that you're living with, they notice that they don't want to talk, or you notice they don't want to talk to you, or you look at them and they seem like they're getting angry over little things, or they seem depressed or sad, or they seem a little bit irritable. And imagine if you had that personality and that went on for years, how that will shape you when you really become a senior citizen. It's something I've thought about, really. How does that shape me as a pattern? And nobody makes me accountable for my moods. It just could be that I'm just in my mood, and so what people do when you're in a particular mood, they tend to leave you alone. How many of you, when you used to go to the workplace and you knew your supervisor or your boss was in a mood, and you would say, don't go talk to him today, this is not a good day, because you just knew that he or she would lash out at you, and it would just make what you thought was a good idea or what you thought was a problem with a project or in the company, that you would postpone doing that. So a lot of us are very sensitive to the feelings that we bump into with other people, that maybe the soul is going through a sort of a personality conflict, or there's something recorded very deep in the soul, and after sleep it emerges in the soul's subconscious and it filters through the consciousness of the soul. One never knows. But what I have investigated in the teachings of Raj Yoga, as you all know, taught by the Brahma Kumaris, is that the soul in its soul conscious state is perfect. And it has absolutely no problems with whatever happens down below. When we are soul conscious, not personality conscious, but when we are soul conscious, everything is perfect. Whether someone's not in a good mood, or someone stole from me, or someone, tried to throw tomatoes at me, or somebody lied or cheated me, if I'm in soul consciousness, I can't feel what they're throwing at me. I want you to give that some really deep thinking. If I'm in soul awareness and in the truth of who I am, what other people are doing can't impact me. So I want to do a little experiment with you today. And I'm not going to rush us. I'm going to take my time. Because I thought it was important. After I had breakfast today, I went into Baba's room. And I sat there for almost 2 hours. And I was observing all the thoughts that were coming and going, and how those thoughts were connected to a personality that I've acquired over many, many lifetimes. And I was observing which one seems to be very dominant in terms of the way I choose to feel. There are certain feelings that emerge and you feel like, you don't want this feeling to come over you. You don't want to be afraid. You don't want to be annoyed. You don't want to be angry. You don't want to be, whatever other words, judgmental, critical, jealous, insecure, whatever other words that tend to emerge inside of your personality to put you in an off mood. But you don't want a pattern of anger stirring in your personality. You don't want a pattern of being afraid of everything, afraid of a noise, afraid of a cat, afraid of a dog, afraid of succeeding, afraid of failing, afraid of your husband, afraid of your wife. You don't want all that energy. But what happens if it goes unattended, it does become a pattern. And when you get older, there's no changing, at least not very easily. But while we're young and energetic and we have our intellectual capacity, then the way that we choose to use our intellectual capacity is entirely up to us. So I've been practicing with this experiment today, and I wanted to invite you into that experience. So if you happen to be driving, this is not going to be an experiment that you want to do. I would suggest that you pull over. And if you're riding your bicycle, just make sure you're on the side. It shouldn't be too bad, because I know that as you're riding the bike and stuff, you're moving around a lot, so it's not that bad. If you're jogging and you're listening to the next normal, wonderful. Wow, you're powerful physically and powerful mentally. That's fantastic. If you happen to be at home and you're preparing food for the family, beautiful vibrations will be entering the food tonight. If you happen to be just sitting at your computer, breezing through some written materials, maybe multitasking a little bit as you listen to these thoughts, also very nice. But where this practice is concerned, it will need a little bit of focus, a little bit of attention. So if I can grab your attention now for a while, I would really appreciate that. And I have to tap Happy, because Happy is sitting right next to me. And I don't know, since the pandemic started, she's been snoring. I just have no idea why she's snoring. So again, I think because she's not exercising as much. Anyway, I didn't want her snoring to be coming through the microphone, and she's back at it again. All right, so here we go. So, because we are so acclimated to our personality has the temperament to sometimes be in a good mood and sometimes in an off mood. Sometimes the personality is such that it sees things very clearly, and sometimes it just gets into a fog. Okay, so what if, and this is all connected to soul consciousness, what if you started to imagine with me that you are going to take the consciousness of your soul, your being, your spirit, your light, the Atma, the Alma, the Ru, whatever's the language that you're most comfortable with. But what if you were to take the knowledge of the spirit and imagine just for a little bit you have left your physical body, you have left your physical form, you are moving out of the body, which means you're now detaching from your personality. And as a result of that, you're becoming non-physical. So just travel with me and feel like you're gently moving upwards, up, up, up. And you are really just the soul. You're no longer the personality that you acclimated yourself to because you were in the body. You are really just soul, the energy that is full and vast and light and pure. So I want you to even go higher than even where you are. I want you to keep traveling upwards, as if you're going now to sit next to Allah, God, Shiva, Jehovah, Khuda, Bhagwan, Lord, Master, whatever is the language, it is the same entity. It is the same energy, which is why nobody down below needs to try to prove that they are the chosen religion or the chosen ones. It is the same God. It is the same Allah, Jehovah, Khuda, whatever. All right. So imagine yourself just being that spirit, and you are just with the energy of light, and everything in your being is so unlimited right now. There's just no thought about forgiving anyone, not trusting anyone. There are no thoughts about the fear of the future. There are no experiences of trauma, not in this place and not in this space of consciousness. You are soul conscious, and you are absolutely light, completely free. So I'd like to invite you to sit in that space just for a little bit until you can feel the lightness of your being. Just take your time. Completely just being the light, the soul, without a personality. Observe that. As you continue to observe what it's like to be detached from your personality, are you able to experience how absolutely vast and unlimited you are as a living being, as the soul? And do you feel that? Are you able to remember what it's like to be unlimited? time to see if you can rekindle that remembrance. I'm applying this experiment for us because we are deeply in need of stepping out of the personality and the energy of fear, doubt, uncertainty, lack of trust, the inability to forgive, maybe even emotional or physical pain. All of that happens because once the soul enters the body, it's like all of my vast, unlimited capacity shrinks into a name, a gender, a role, a title, a religion, a nationality, a language. It's very interesting, isn't it? From experiencing the vastness of the energy of the soul, the spirit, we enter the body and we start to observe this powerful entity wasting and spending majority of its time in small things, in petty things. Something like not wanting to even forgive someone for the way they roll their eyes at you. You know, how you take these behaviors that people apply to you very, very, very deeply. Today I was talking to one of my colleagues and I had sent them something to help them. I actually sent them a model to help them to participate in an upcoming retreat that they were organizing. And when one of them called me today and was telling me about it, they was like, well, nobody was wondering, what does this mean? This made no sense. I said to her, I don't understand you all. Would I ever send you anything that is ridiculous and makes no sense? And it's as if they couldn't think out of the box. They were somewhere else where they were like, why is she trying to send us something from this organization? And I was not sending anything from an organization. I was showing them a sample of a model that would be so useful for them in the future. And for that moment as I sat into this conversation, I told her, please make sure you go back and you let everybody know the purpose and the reason why I sent this message is for them to understand this process and this model would be beneficial for them. And that scene today had me connecting to my personality, to memories, to stereotypes. And as I allowed myself to step out of my personality and step away from the consciousness of my body, I was totally okay. And I was totally accepting that that's just where they are. And that there's nothing wrong with that. And that there's nothing wrong with where I am. And there's something so powerful, everyone. And I'd like you to really think of this tonight. There's nothing more powerful than disrupting a pattern of thinking, especially a pattern of thinking that takes you away from your emotional, mental, spiritual, intellectual soul freedom. Once you can disrupt that pattern of waste and negative thoughts, just imagine what you are doing to the energy of the soul as it's sitting in your body. So when we practice, and we call this, Raj Yoga meditation in the Brahma Kumaris or soul consciousness, when you actually practice to remove the soul from the consciousness or the attachments, or you even imagine for a little bit, I am going to break away from the idea that I am Jenna, I am half Indian, half African, raised in America all my life. I've done this, I do this, I have this title, I've done that. I'm going to break away from all of that Because even if I were to look at my resume, and I've told this to so many of my friends, that if I look at all the things God's love has done through me, that sheet would be so long. Don't even ask. And none of that matters. It's still so small compared to what the soul is when the soul is outside of the attachment to physical form. And it is in its non-physical state of energy and awareness. Let's take a breath. Let's breathe in and breathe out. And I'd love to, even hear some of your thoughts for those, or at least who are on YouTube. I can respond to you here. And for those who are watching elsewhere, I'm so sorry you're not on YouTube, because that's the only place I can communicate with you. But I'd like you to think about what we just did, the experiment that we just did together. And what was it like for you when you consciously decided to detach from the whole personality that tends to express itself the minute the soul is in the body and the soul is attached to your physical form? What is the personality that comes through you? And are you willing to allow the experience that you had of soul consciousness to give you the power and the self-respect and the feeling to accept the personality that you're playing out at this particular time? What if, like I shared in the other sessions, and something that Ainsley MacLeod in one of our shows that we did together, that so many of our past lives are still influencing our current choices? So imagine for a minute, I was thinking about my doctor and Dr. Madhavi. I don't know if she's on today, and she's been on overtime taking care of a whole bunch of people. And I was thinking about the role of a physician and all the healthcare providers around town. And sometimes people will tell you, oh, I could never be a doctor. Or some will say, oh, I could never be a surgeon. I just can't bear to see blood. But what is in the personality or the energy of a particular doctor or a surgeon who can take a particular tool called a scalpel and cut into your body and take out a disease and thinks and flinches not even twice at that? Is it that the soul has been through enough suffering and pain that it is now in this particular personality that it's here to relieve the pain of others because they've known what pain has felt like? And then I thought about my role and how I want to and I am here for individuals who might be in emotional despair and also physical. But that my whole life, at least the last 30 years, has been to convey and offer guidance. I'm not the greatest teacher on the planet. I don't speak eloquently like all of my other friends and people who can tell incredible stories and put things together. It's not been my focus. My focus is developing intimacy with souls and being there for each other. And if there's a way I can share something and Baba touches my inner world and he knows what that child needs and Baba touches my lips to say the right things at the right time, then that's not even me, that's Baba. I can't even take credit. But the fact that I know my physical and emotional life is in this birth, I want to help. But I don't want to help using a scalpel and cutting your body up and removing an issue. I'm not designed in that form of pain and suffering. So I was thinking to myself today, is it that I have enjoyed mental or emotional suffering, that I'm on this particular path, that I'm able to deal with all of that and not be fazed by it, but to be the one that says, how can I help you? Are you okay? If there's a problem with people or anyone, I'll always be the one I can talk to one person on the left And the one on the right, who the other one's having a problem with, has no idea that I spoke to the person on the left, because to be quite frank, my agenda is to see both of these people getting on. I remembered when the elections were declared in 2016. I think it was about 2 or 3 months into afterwards. There were a few folks who I had known pretty well who had become literal enemies to each other. And it had become a big thing. And I remembered one person and where they were, and so I would call and I would find a way to talk with her and make sure that she was comforted and supported, but yet at the same token to try to find Baba at that moment to just say, tell me what are the right things to share so I can be of assistance. And then when I would go to the other person who was like, I just can't believe this person voted for this bad, blah, blah, it was just so awful. And then speaking to that person and looking for a way for her heart and empathy and her personality to step out of her consciousness for a while. So I've noticed that my legacy for very, very long is that the two people will never even know that I was in the middle, bringing them back together. They will never know because I will not take sides. I will not take sides. I think it's because I'm half black, half Indian, and that's only because that's the recording in my DNA. But in reality, I don't even think I'm half black or half Indian. I'm really Baba's child. I'm a soul. And I think that's a blessing that I've been given in this lifetime, to basically see how can I bring people together. I don't want to see people fight and separate each other. And even though I've bumped into that a lot in my life, even within our own community, I might have, 1 or 2 people who are gung-ho in pushing their agenda, or gung-ho in saying that their race or their language or their religion is better than, mine or anyone else. I'll be like, no, it's not. And I have no idea who made you believe that your race or your culture and your religion is better than anyone else. I think your race and your culture has wonderful values, and I respect it. And that's a whole different language than walking around with the personality that your race, your language, or your religion is better than others. You see the difference? So, in order for you to reach a stage like that, the practice of soul consciousness is essential in your life. In the Brahma Kumaris, we'll get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock. I've been getting up much, much earlier than that. Then there's a morning class at 6:30. And then there's breakfast, usually at 9 or 9:30. In the mornings, I've been taking it a little bit easier for a while. I'm just sorting out some new energies. But fundamentally, that's our practice every day. We have a morning class that keeps stimulating the thoughts and the soul so that the vibrations can raise. And then, having a pure diet where I'm eating vegetarian meals every day, and I don't include garlic or onions because of its very strong impact on the cells and on the body. And then every hour we're stopping for a little bit of traffic control. Where's my mind? Soul, leave the body now. Go back into the memory of your freedom. Detach from your personality for a little. Become non-physical and remember who you really are. So imagine if you do this over and over again, like if you wake up in the mornings and you're in this mood one day and then you're in another mood another day, and nobody tells you they're tired of you always being in a bad mood, or they're tired of not knowing your mood swings or whenever you're going to be in a good mood. Imagine using your days where you transform dealing with this fluctuation in your personality, and you decide to find some stability in your personality and just say, let me become non-physical. If it's even for 5 minutes, let me be non-physical. And let me just detach from my own personality for a minute and see how that makes me feel. So I know I'm going on and on, but it's a great topic. And that was my churning today after breakfast as I sat in Bubba's room. And as I was walking and moving around in the center, and I'm just thinking, and then I've been having this wheatgrass thing, and it's just not doing well on my system. It's almost as if it's counterproductive for me, because I have a lot of energy, and so even the wheatgrass is not able to keep up to my energy. So when I drink it, it's like it's killing my energy, and I go, I don't know if I need this wheatgrass. It's just not working for me. But anyway, everybody says it's really good. All right. I have to fix my blouse. It's all out of shape. Okay, everyone. Bryn, Om Shanti, how are you? The reason I'm going to be a doctor is because of dealing with my own disease. Bryn, look at that. You see what I was saying, Bryn? So, validation, right? Completely true, completely true. So, I can't, Rally, you can't tolerate wheatgrass too. I know, Antonia and everyone here, they're like drinking it like it's tequila. And I'm like, oh my God, that thing is awful. I was telling them tequila would be better than wheatgrass. Anyway, hi Money, nice to have you. I'm so glad that the experiment was very powerful for you. Madhavi, you heard me talking about you. You're hearing it, sister. It's deep and it's amazing. I'm so glad. But Madhavi, it's interesting that, I mean, we've been together since you were in med school and doing rotation, and now you're such a good doctor and you're doing so well at Kaiser and so on. Had you ever thought how you can, every day you show up and every day somebody comes in front of you, maybe they never even ask you, Doc, how are you? You're the one that says over and over again, how are you? So tell me, what's the problem? And what I've noticed with people, and I've seen it, when they come to you, it's as if, you know, the face has to show the expression of the pain. Have you ever seen that? Oh, well, let me tell you, Doc. And then the whole face goes into the expression of what the pain is. And I've thought about how a doctor every day has to visualize that and how they see that every day. Oh, well, you know, my back or my foot or my leg or my eye or I broke my arm, and you know, you're constantly fixing what's broken. And I've looked at you, even you, Madhavi, it's like, it's normal. Like, okay. And I guess it might be the same for me. Folks come to me time and time again. It's always a problem, always a problem, always a problem. And it's like, it doesn't matter. Somebody was over the house the other day and we were talking about my health opportunity, and he said, you're such an elevated soul. How come you got sick? And I just had to look at him with so much compassion. And I said, yeah, I've had that thought too about other great souls that I've seen got a sickness. And I think that everybody is subject to a settling of some account of the past. That's one. But secondly, I was telling him that I honestly tell you that I've asked myself that question. And I was telling him that I think that, you know, I listen to so many sad stories very, very much over and over again, that maybe once in a while, one of them might slip into my system. And I just feel very sad about it, you know. And if that happens over a period of 30 years, after a while you have to think like, it can take a toll on you. You know, it can take a toll on you. So that was my answer that I had to give him, because that was truthfully how I felt, because I had no idea. All right. Oh, no, Raleigh, they didn't mean it in a rude way. They weren't saying that in a facetious or negative way. They were just saying it that there's so much of an understanding that individuals, let's say, like me, I'm like everyone else. I'm just that I'm in touch with my weaknesses, maybe more than the average person. That's what I've often felt is like the real message of what makes a spiritual person spiritual is the fact that I think they're more aware of their weaknesses than a normal person. this is food for thought. But yeah, they were not being rude at all. It's somebody that I have a lot of love and respect for, and they would never say anything to disrespect or dishonor me at all. So Manny, mood swings happen a lot. Even this morning I woke up with a little off mood. So today's session is just for you then, right? All right. Anyone else has anything to share? So I'm taking it from the perspective that if we are attached to our personality, we're going to have an off mood. And so in order for us to be unattached to our personality, we're going to have to practice to go up and be beyond more and more. And so this is what I'd like us to do for this meditation as we pause for a little and travel upwards. And I hope you enjoyed the sharing tonight as well, because it's a topic that I think I could go on and on and on forever, especially today, because I was experimenting so much while I was walking and moving around. Anyway, so enjoy this meditation, all right? This is in collaboration with our Brahma Kumari's office in the UK, and they're doing I think it's a 12-day program on soul consciousness. So I thought this was appropriate.
Meditations on Soul Consciousness Day 2. In this meditation, we'll practice going beyond your ordinary mind into soul consciousness. By taking yourself into an experience of your higher self, the kind, loving and wise part of you, you can feel happier and more stress-resistant. Think about what it feels like to be around someone who is genuinely kind and wise. Yes, it's a delightful experience, but it's also healing and safe. It's the same when our mind is flooded with kind and loving feelings. It gives us a deep sense of well-being. So we'll try out a meditation that will help you experience this natural high. This involves a simple method of lighting up the higher self to get your good feelings flowing. You can shift into your higher self by thinking of soft, gentle light that exists for you above your thinking mind. This inner light is your kindness, love, and compassion gently shining. When people are kind and happy, they seem lit up. We don't see this light of the soul with our eyes, we sense it. And when we focus on this inner light within ourselves, everything inside starts to settle down, and the gentle, harmonious energy of peace starts to fill us up. To recap on yesterday's practice, let's go over that first step again, being the kind observer of your thoughts. Keep your eyes open, but shift your focus onto your mind so that you can watch your thoughts. Be curious. Try not to judge what's happening in your mind or even how well you're doing with this exercise. Instead, speak to yourself with a kind inner voice. After a few minutes of patiently and kindly observing, your thoughts are able to slow down. So now let's move on to the second step. Even after slowing your mind down, it will still keep on creating one thought after another. Each thought stirs up a particular feeling, and this goes on all day long, filling your mind like a fog. So to lift yourself beyond that, imagine rising above this cloud of thought into gentle, sunny light. This is where your love, kindness, and feelings of harmony reside. Try not to apply any force or pressure. Instead, take your mind there with kind and encouraging words, spoken to yourself silently in your mind. Allow yourself to rise above the buzz of your thoughts, to pull yourself completely free of them. You rise up above the fog of mind chatter into light, into calming, peaceful light. Try this out for a few minutes now, pulling yourself above your ordinary mind up into the light of your higher self. When you rise above your ordinary mind, you can experience being at peace with yourself and with all life. This lightness of being always exists above your busy mind. It's always present for you, even if you ignore it. And even though this is a simple technique, it can take a little practice to master. Just be willing to leave your ordinary mind below and rise above into the reassuring glow of your higher self, the soul. Allow yourself to feel this in an immersive way. The love you find here is pure in nature, a love for everything and everyone, no matter who they are. Allow this expansive sense of love to spread through you, a feeling of kindness without bounds, as though your compassion has been set free to care for the well-being of everyone. Allow this experience to unfold for a few minutes by speaking to yourself about a gentle glow of peacefulness at the heart of who you are, and being open to feel this in a way that's natural to you. Allow your love to open out into a wide, expansive feeling for no one in particular, an open, unlimited love for all life. Allow your love to expand as widely as it wants to. Each time you rise above the chatter of your mind and immerse yourself in this experience of inner light, you'll begin to feel love and kindness flowing within. Each time you practice this, it will be a little easier to summon at will, and the feeling of being at peace with yourself and all life will grow. Don't worry if this develops very slowly. Just be patient with yourself and repeat this meditation a few times until the experience unfolds. Try doing a couple of short meditations at least twice during the day, on a tea break, or a moment you can create for stillness.
All right, so welcome back, and I hope that meditation on soul consciousness was helpful, and our sharing tonight was helpful, and that you've taken away a tool of how to experience the self more, not just the personality, because it's the personality that goes in and out of mood swings. And the personality is connected to karma, sanskars, the subconscious, the past lives, the experiences that are against peace and love and happiness. So when those moods come up, it's really our sanskaras. And so I want to step away from that. And sometimes it's okay to stay in that mood, because actually sometimes that mood becomes a trigger to take you somewhere internally that you wouldn't have gone normally if you felt like you were all happy and fine. So it's okay once in a while you have a melancholy moment, or you've awakened with a little bit more, what do you call, like introspection. You're just a little bit on the quiet side that day. That is fine. But let it not be that it becomes a pattern that you're moody. And I know for women, hormonally, it's a little bit different at times, that every month we tend to go through a sort of an emotional state. And I know that there's not much we can do about that. I can only say, because I don't have that experience, but perhaps the practice of just being non-physical and practicing stepping out of the body for a little bit and moving away from the personality of the feeling of the emotions, that could be a big support that can help you to move forward. Whenever things aren't going our way, it's at that time our practice of soul consciousness will be very important. Whether it is a health crisis, financial, a relationship one, which is always a big thing, and you try your best to see, how can I make amends in this relationship with this person, or how can I forgive this person for what they've done? Soul consciousness will help. The more you're soul conscious, you'll be able to capture the power and the lightness and the freedom and the wisdom to think the right thoughts, to speak the right words, and for your energy to be in the right place at the right time for amends. I know we wish it would take like a second, and sometimes you can be having a problem with someone for 20 or 30 years. I've had a relationship, that has felt strained for a long time. When I'm in front of the people or that person, maybe I don't feel as safe or confident as I would if I was looking at a 1-year-old baby. And whenever I have that experience, I know there's still work for me to do. And I also suspect that they too are feeling the same, because we all reflect from each other energies and vibrations that we're going through. And many times we bump into people because they are in our lives to help us with something that we have missed, or something that we definitely need to develop, or maybe something we need to let go of. So you don't have to always knock them all the time, But for whatever it's worth, it's a good opportunity for us to practice being in a good mood and keeping ourselves loving and kind, and just fix yourself really quick. Try not to stay too long in your problem. Try to go beyond, become non-physical, connect to that remembrance of how unlimited you can be, and give your personality a break. And then strengthen your soul conscious self. And you find that when you get back into the consciousness of the body, the world will look different, because you've just imparted the greatest disruption you could ever impart on your spirit, and that is to break your attachment to your physical form. So thank you for joining us on the Next Normal today. It was lovely to be with you, and thanks for everyone who is coming on today. Bharti, Wendy, Rally, Asmita, Bryn, Mani, all of you, Shobha, Indu, all my friends, all my family members, Madhavi, Dr. Madhavi, always nice to have you. Dr. Kailash, always great to have you. Nikki Dickey, Denise Withers, Hina, nice to have you. So lots of blessings to each and every one of you, and I'll see you all tomorrow. And please take care, be well, have a lovely night. Om Shanti. Vibrations of love. And some say love is a verb. But much deeper than that, love is a vibration. It is that energy that stirs the soul and opens up the heart. Vibrations of love call out to the divine that connects us with the beauty of life and the oneness of it all. I need not to say it with words, although it is always nice to hear, but greater still is to feel it. Vibrations of love lift me higher, and I fill the empty spaces within the soul. It is the divine in its purest essence. It is me at the height of my being. I am vibrations of love.
we find our nation on a precipice, true tipping point. Is this the moment that will finally change our country?
Trying to rain on the thunder. Tell the storm I'm new. I'ma rain on this little love. Tell the tweet I'm new.
It's not a broken system. It was built to function exactly as it is.
We must respond with bold action.
This is our country, too. We can build new systems that do what they should.
I'm a walk, I'm a march on the regular.
We are united. We are standing.
Follow away.
And we are going to fight this fight.
Freedom, I can't move. Freedom, cut me loose. I break chains all by myself.
There is something happening across this country.
When we work and when we fight and when we march and when we speak up and when we offer solutions, we win.
I'ma keep running cause the winner don't quit on themselves.
It's always the right time to celebrate women and black women in particular.
It is an opportunity to show the nation and the world that we will act. It has been an inspiration.
You have the choice, and it is that choice that gives you power.
Vote. Vote like your life depends on it because it does.
That is what we need next. Action.
Hi everyone, it's Sister Jenna from America Meditating Radio. I hope you've been enjoying Wise-ish, which you can get live on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube from 8:30 a.m. to 8:45. But you can also get it on demand 24/7. It's going to be your power boost for the morning. It's your daily dose for the soul. It's just going to encourage you to make the day that much more valuable. So join us. Looking forward to seeing you. Hi everyone, I'm Sister Jenna. Welcome to our special Zoom meditation segments. Look, it's no joke. Things are kind of weird. It's just weird. Pandemics, protests, job insecurity, global pause. Everyone's numb, but also everyone's searching. And they might be searching on this little gadget of Zoom in a little box. People from all over the world who don't know each other are coming together in Zoom rooms to figure out who they are, why they're here, and how to meditate. Meditation is something that we've often thought that if we make our minds empty, we've meditated. I don't believe that. I think it's important that we learn how to channel our thoughts in a right way that are connected to our vision, our goal, our spiritual attainments, our mental capacity. Then you're really meditating.
Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. my glorious, my glorious.